Hey folks, this is Vincent Idly with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to play Frostpunk 2. I say Idly because she's in chat right now, and she's been playing for a while as well. So if you have any questions, type them out in chat, and she may be able to help you if I can't get to you. Alright, let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to start a new playthrough. I'm currently on Chapter 3, and what's cool about Frostpunk 2 is that your progress actually carries over from one chapter to the next. So it's different. So if you mess up like mid chapter 3, you kind of have to reload maybe halfway through chapter 2 and try and figure out what you did wrong, or at least load back to when you last saved it, that you're sure that you were doing okay. That's actually in my tip video. So if you want to see some quick tips, go check out my tips video that I just posted. The embargo just released. So there's a story mode and there's Utopia Builder. And Utopia Builder is kind of like your sandbox. So it just says, welcome to the open-ended sandbox mode of Frostpunk 2. Please be advised that we designed Frostpunk 2 with the intent for you to experience the story mode before playing Utopia Builder, as engaging with the fate of New London is intended way to learn the core concepts of the game. So we will be playing the story, but I just want to show you that there are different scenarios that you can choose between. So there's like windswept peaks, for example, randomized resources in Frostland, medium area. Then you've got this fractured gorge, randomized resources in Frostland, geothermal deposits, but limited fuel, small area. And if you pick one, you can actually adjust some of the elements to the sandbox mode. You can choose your goal, which is like develop a metropolis or build a prosperous future, colonize the Frostland. So you can choose one of those ambitions. And then you can choose what communities are involved. These communities will demand various laws and want certain buildings. They can even revolt up against you if you're in bad favor with them. But they can also do great things for you too if they're supporting you, if they like you a lot. And then there's different difficulties. My only complaint with this is that there's a citizen, in my opinion, is still very difficult. But then I think that's partially because being a new player to the game, I'm still learning it. Even though I've got, according to Steam, 13.3 hours at this point, I had gotten an early copy. So yeah, there's let's see, 7 scenarios. So that's the Utopia Builder, but we'll go ahead and go to story mode and we'll start a new one. So yeah, Prologue, chapter 1, 2, 3, and it looks like there's 5 chapters in all, because these are all grayed out for me, I haven't gotten there yet. But we'll go ahead and do the Prologue, and we'll start a new story. That shouldn't overwrite my progress, I'm pretty sure. I hope not. That would suck. Wanders. Yeah, we'll just keep everything simple there. Okay. And as much as I like the music, I have it turned down. I have no idea if it's protected under copyright. The original Frostpunk soundtrack is not.
Can you hear us? Captain! Do you hear us?
A generation ago, we fled the crumbling British Empire as the world froze around us. I held New London together. United, we survived 30 years of violence. But the world around us is dead. Empty. Ripe for taking. The city stops. Vestas.
Merely surviving is not enough. We have to expand. After all, it's us.
survive the end of the world. I survived.
Yes.
The intro is definitely creepy. So, for the prologue, we take on the role of the Wanderers. This is not part of the main story, but it also kind of is. I'll get into that maybe later. I don't want to spoil too much. So, in the Wanderers scenario, we'll just read it here. We've been roaming the frozen desert for years. Many of us do not remember a world before the Great Frost. Now another whiteout is coming, and again we've reached the old machine. Again, we will rely on its furnace to provide heat through the storm. In the past, we always made sure there were enough supplies for the next whiteout, but our numbers have grown through the years. Providing for everyone is getting harder and harder. The old dreadnought remains in pieces under layers of snow, but the scattered wagons still have resources inside. First, we must break ice to reach one of the oil wagons and construct an extraction district to use it. Then we can turn on the dreadnought's furnace to heat us. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause. Pause is something that you always want to do when you're trying to figure out what to do next or how to interact with the interface. Now, at the moment, there's not a whole lot we can do because this ice is not buildable. Like, you cannot construct anything on this ice. That's where this whole frost break mechanic comes into play. So if I click on that, frost breaking is a new thing to the Frostpunk universe. And with 300 workforce and 30 scraps, teams of workers with heavy equipment will go out, break ice, and prepare the ground so that we can start placing things on it. And anything in a very dark gray has already been prepared. So we can build on this area, but a very bright white are the areas that we can frost break. The areas with this mesh means that we can't reach it yet. We kind of have to dig our way over to it. So what we need to do is we need to dig our way, or frost break our way, over to this here. And you can kind of see the area opening up for us. And we kind of want to make our way down here too, also to this prefab area. I don't want to like double down on oil. I will do that later, but for right now, we should probably just dig toward this direction. That way we have access to this and this all in one frost break. Again, it does cost scraps in order to do that. Now, in the prologue, they're called scraps. In the actual game, chapters 1 and on, they're called heat stamps. Scraps is just a representation of like currency, and being wanderers, I guess they use scraps rather than heat stamps. I guess heat stamps is like the official currency in the city, and scraps are just scraps. So with that being said, we will temporarily use 300 workforce in order to get this started. In the upper left-hand corner, you can actually see it says workforce available 1950. Now, we'll use 300 of that workforce to temporarily, like, take care of this frost-breaking task. But then we'll get that 300 back when they're done. So it's not like a permanent thing. We're sort of borrowing workforce in order to frost break, but we do lose the scraps permanently. We are regenerating them, however, 22 per week through individual contributions, according to the tooltip. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the check mark. And note that you have to finish the actual frost breaking, like you have to highlight all the areas. If you look at the little tooltip, it says 7 of 8, and 7 of the 8 bars are filled up. You have to fill up all 8 bars in order to start the job. So we'll hit check mark, unpause, and now they're going to do their thing. So while we're waiting, we can take a look around the interface a bit. If it's too loud, let me know. I had the music turned down, but the sound effects might be a little loud. How does it sound? Okay, sounds good. Alright, so frost breaking is done. We're going to go ahead and pause again. And it says here on the left to frost break to an oil wagon and construct an extraction district. So on the bottom right are districts. In the prologue, we have access to housing, food, and extraction. There are more districts that we'll have access to in chapters 1 on. We're going to do an extraction district as the game wants us to on top of this oil wagon. And it has like 60k worth of oil. But we have to do, again, we have to fill up all of the little bars. Right now we've got 1 of 3 filled up. We're going to dig down, see if we dig this way or if we encompass this way, we may not have enough here. So I'm going to dig up that way and hit, not dig, but just put the district and form it here. I want to give this a little bit of room so I don't have to keep frost breaking around it, because you can expand districts in this game as well. Turn on the furnace and the dreadnought wreck to provide heat. We will do that once this is finished. Now, in my head, I want to put housing districts down. I want to put extraction districts on the prefab resource, but like I'm following the tutorial verbatim because I don't know if crap will break if I go off track here. So we'll play it the way it wants us to for right now. And I'm going to go ahead and fast forward time. Alright, that's done. Oil. As the thick black liquid oozes through the pipes, our people rejoice. The carcass of this old machine is a testament to the hardships that made us. But more importantly, it's our haven in the storm. It has allowed us to weather many whiteouts, and it will do so again. We have oil. We can now turn on the furnace. So we're going to click on this dreadnought wreck, and there's a couple of tabs. There's district, and there's generator. And the dreadnought actually houses 10 shelter. Has 10 shelter, but we're still missing some. In the upper right-hand corner, you can actually see that we've got a total of 40 people, 10 of which are fulfilled because the dreadnought fulfills 10 of that. But the remaining 30 still don't have any housing. So that's something that we'll be doing probably in a little bit. It's also demanding 20 heat, but we're going to go ahead and turn on that generator to take care of that. All right. Now, are we making any income off of, like, are we making enough heat at the moment? And the answer is yes. We'll see that in a moment. The furnace is on. We have enough oil to cover current needs, but the cold will still affect our people until they have proper shelter. So I kind of already mentioned that. Let's go ahead and just click IC. And with the video pause, or with the game pause, we can take a look on the very top. It says requirements. In order to run the furnace, we need 20 oil. And we are providing enough of that. The extraction district is providing 60, which is why we have a net of plus 40 here. So we are in the positive. We have no storage for this prologue, so nothing is being stored per se. But in the actual chapters 1 on, you will be able to store resources as well. Okay, so it wants us to frost break to a construction wagon and build an extraction district on the prefabs. I think I've already done that with careful planning here, so that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to build an extraction district right there. That's done. And next, build 2 housing districts. So we'll click on that, some housing. Now what's cool is that there are some adjacency bonuses. So anything in blue is good for us. It says here it's near the generator, plus 20 heat. So we want to build our housing districts, at least 3 of the 6 you'll note that a housing district has 6 bars to it, but it says near generator, and it has 3 bars plus 20 heat. So I'm just going to fill that up to make sure that that is satisfied. Then we can put the other 3 anywhere else. So we've got 3 next to this generator, and that is satisfying that adjacency bonus. There's a little check mark with a plus 20 heat on the tooltip. And then beyond that, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and we're building that. And I may have to frost break here in order to get more adjacency bonuses. So I think I will go ahead and do that. Oops, wrong button. And okay, there we go. So we want to like maybe something like that, and then let's give ourselves space either way. I could do something like that. And if I want to expand off of this, I could like go in that direction. I don't know. What I could do, let's do something like that maybe. Because there's the district there. That should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I could go this way with it. You know what, if I have to frost break again, I will, but maybe we'll do something like that. Okay. And we'll unpause. Fast forward time. Alright, so we frost braked this area here. We'll go ahead and build some more housing districts. Again, we want to do this adjacency thing. I want to give them space to expand if I give the order to, so I will go in this direction with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. That still gives some room for this district to go this way, or this district to go this way, or this district to expand this way. Again, we can always frost break again, but again, that does cost scraps in order to do that. But because this is near another housing district, we could have gotten another bonus out of it, but if you can actually see there's 2 tooltips there. One says near housing district plus 20 heat. The other one says near generator plus 20 heat. We've satisfied the near generator part, but not the housing district part, which I don't really care. Go ahead and just hit check mark, and that should be plenty. Each of these districts will output 15 shelter, and we need a total of 30 per the upper right-hand corner there. So this will provide 15, and this will provide 15, and that'll satisfy that. And then next, I'm assuming we'll address food and materials when it's all said and done. All right, gain access to food. We'll go ahead and do that next. Note that our oil income went down because the shelters that we build demand heat. You'll note that there's a 20 with an asterisk. Normally, the housing district would demand 40 heat, but because we are near that generator, and we got that positive modifier, minus 40 from the district itself, plus 20 from being next to the generator, is a net of negative 20. So that's why it's cheaper, and it's not demanding as much as it normally would. Otherwise, we would be in the negative here. So this modifier helped keep us in the positive in terms of oil income. All right, next we have to frost break to fertile soil. So we'll go ahead and do that. There's some fertile soil down there. I don't think there's... Yeah, we'll just go that way with it. So we want to do that. We got to be super careful about how we're drawing this. So we'll go down that way. And we want to keep going this way, maybe. There's food up that way. So what I could do, let's finish that there so we can go up that way in the future. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being an absolute pro, how good are you at this game? I would say like a 6 or 7. There's still, like, I don't know the metas, but, like, I know enough to where I think I'm doing okay or not. The biggest thing really is just mastering the interface and the gameplay mechanics. All these numbers being thrown at you and how to manage them, that's the big thing. And what you can do to solve problems. That comes with experience more than anything. So, like, that's why I'm not a 10, because I haven't played the game long enough to, like, be an experienced master, you know? I would say I'm better than average because I've got 13 hours. I mean, if I played for 400, I'm sure I'd be, like a 9 or a 10. Okay, so we're currently frost breaking. I wonder if we can do it again, actually. No, we'll wait. Alright, well, fast forward time. Alright, and now we'll build some food districts. We'll put it right there. 1, 2, 3. We're going to need materials as well fairly soon. So this prefab extraction district is where we're getting prefabs. Prefabs are like materials used for construction. Currently we're getting 20 per week from this. But if you note on the tooltip, this will only last 17 weeks and only 340 prefabs are remaining. So this is going to run out soon, and that means our workforce will come back to us. We won't be penalized this heat or materials demand anymore, but then again we won't be gaining 20 prefabs per week. We can adjust sliders here in order to change input output. You can kind of see the numbers changing as I do this. That's another tip that I have in my tip video. So yeah, don't be afraid to mess around with those sliders. We secured our immediate survival. Now we have to stockpile as much food as we can. To do that, we need to produce more food than our current demand, which we're not doing. We've only got 8. So let's go ahead and get up to the next food district. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we want to build toward this and then down. So we'll just keep digging in that general direction. Because we are going to run out of prefabs. So we have to plan ahead. Holding in left alt brings up the resource map and the district map. Yellows are like your extraction districts, and this teal color is housing. You'll see red is like industrial. You'll get to that later on. Food is green. But yeah, if you hold in alt, you can see all the different resources on the map. And again, this prefab here is going to run out, and it looks like there's more. That's materials. That's materials. Is there another prefab? There's prefabs down that way. So I need to get around, just make a break for that as quickly as possible while managing workforce. So we're going to get there. All right, we're going to fast forward time. We're not stockpiling food yet. We really need to get that done. So we'll do another food district right here. 1, 2, 3, hit check. And then we'll continue frost breaking. We do want materials, but we also want more food. So I think we'll dig down this way and then tap into this materials wagon later. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down 5, 6, 7, 8. Not completely there, but we're making our way down this direction. So we'll hit check. All right, that is now done. So let's continue frost breaking in that direction. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We want to try and get to the prefabs before that runs out, and maybe down to this oil down here. This oil over here may run out at some point. Let's go ahead and approve of that and then see what they want. We've been here so many times, the soil is depleting. A couple more and there will be no point erecting the hothouses. There will be nothing to grow food on. The yield is so low, either we pull emergency ships or tighten our belts. Otherwise, there may not be enough for everybody. Okay, so we may not be able to fill the food stockpiles without exceptional measures. Consider asking the Wanderers to tighten belts or instill emergency shifts in the food districts. So those are various things that I can do. If I click on them, it pulls up a little like relations tab, and I can tell them tighten belts. Hunger is significantly increased, but food demand per capita is increased. So that's something I'll do, but I can also make them happy or sad by doing other things. For example, I can take scraps from them, but then they hate me more. Or I can give them scraps, in which case their relations improve. I'm going to go and have them tighten belts now. The sooner I do that, the better, because that's retroactive, and yeah. All right, let's continue fast forward. Okay, so now we've got this up and running. We've got 750 workforce remaining. Our oil, however, is now in the negative because we have a lot of different districts going on at once. And whenever you're negative on something, you'll see these little icons here highlight or fade out. In this case, cold is growing because we have a negative heat. So what we want to do is get more oil income. So let's go ahead and build another extraction district. Oh, we have to do this first. Let's go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I guess. That's fine. All right. That's good to go. We're gonna prep our way down here. Do we have enough to do it? We're still good on prefabs. Let's continue digging this way. We're just prepping. We're not gonna build the districts yet. It's a huge drain on workforce, but we're preparing for the future is what we're doing. All right, let's get that oil up and running. 1, 2, 3. And do we have enough for one more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Beautiful. The only thing we have to frost break to is this maintenance wagon over here, but we didn't even get through this yet. We should probably get maintenance done at some point. It wants us to order emergency ships. It's an optional thing. Just to show you what that is, if we click on this emergency ships button on a district, they will work harder, but then trust falls slightly. I'll go ahead and just do that real quick, just to show you that we will get more food income temporarily from that, but we'll probably turn that off. Against the elements, squalor. Each day the wind grows fiercer. Relentlessly it beats against our buildings, weakens our structures, gust by gust. Without raw materials to repair the damage, our districts will deteriorate. The more we build, the more materials we need. This is the world we know. Provide more materials. So we will promise to gather more materials because that's good. Our relations will improve with them if we do that. So let's go ahead and get a extraction district for that going. And we're down to 748 workforce. 2 are sick at the moment. We're at negative 100, so we need to get that material up and running. We're gonna go ahead and actually get prepared for this one too while we're at it. We'll dig right over to it. And when I say dig, I mean like clear the land. A mysterious symbol, the captain's legacy. One of the frostbreaking crew uncovered the frozen remains of a man in tattered uniform. His shoulder patch reads New London Scouts 3rd Platoon, and he bears an obscure insignia. Some of our elders claim it belongs to a military organization, while others argue it has a religious significance. Maybe I've heard of this New London before we can settle their debate. So we can kind of like establish lore based on what happened, I guess, in the last one, whatever. So we can say it symbolizes faith or order. Those are the two like main branching paths that you could take in Frostpunk 1. But I'm just going to click on I don't recognize this symbol, and this will create a community in which New London has leaned on either order or faith to survive. So it's kind of like whatever. I don't know what gameplay effect that has, to be honest with you. Good work. We are now gathering enough materials to maintain our districts. Time to focus on stockpiling food for the whiteout. Relations improve, causing trust to rise. What do you want? My knees ache, and my fingers are so stiff I can't hold the needle anymore. I've lived a full life. It warms my heart to see little Betty and Jacob play by the evening fire, but maybe this is it. I've talked with the other elders. If it's time to go, we will go. I won't let my grandchildren starve. Some people are ready to sacrifice themselves to lower the food required. I don't think we're going to get to that. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Not unless we absolutely have to. Okay. So we have plus 30 materials, which is good. And we are storing food. There's no stockpile with materials, so I'm not going to overproduce unnecessarily. Okay. But we do want to stockpile food. Now, when it comes to stockpiling food, we need 40,000 of it, and we can only hold 10,000. That's where these hubs come into play, and these are available right from the beginning. There's typically more than this, but for the purposes of the prologue, all we have is a food stockpile hub. For 100 workforce, just a regular 100 workforce, we can just run a storage thing. We'll need 2 of them because we have 10,000 by default. This one gives 15,000, and then another 15,000 will be 50,000. Or no, 30, 40. Yeah, that's enough. So 2 is 40,000 plus the dreadnought storage. So what we need, though, is to put that adjacent to an existing district to get the workforce bonus. So if you take a look here, it says near food stockpile hub. So it says negative 10% workforce requirement. Everything's fine, Jack. How about you? So I'm going to go ahead and just click OK. Beautiful. All right, so that's 1 hub down. And we're probably going to do another one. We've got 800 workforce remaining. We have to be super careful about that. But if we put this adjacent here or here, we're not going to get that 10%, whereas we did get it here. We may have to... You know what? Let's do 1 more frost break. Something like that. That way we can put hubs near here and we get that workforce bonus. So I'm going to go and do that. And these people want something. Shocked at the sight of seals. Seals, I can't believe my eyes. We haven't seen them since before the Great Frost. How did they survive? There's enough meat there to feed everybody. We're saved. But should we slay them if the Lord spared them for the end of the world too? The seal colony can supplement our food production. I'm not going to slaughter seals. That's all there is to it. That's just not a thing. I will find a way to feed everyone without slaughtering seals. Alright, so we still have emergency shifts going on there. Now, according to this, this will be filled in 46 weeks. We have... Okay, it actually says in the upper left, stockpiles ready in 82 weeks at current rate. We need... Yeah, so we are not producing enough. We have to get this done in 50 weeks. So, yeah, we need to produce more food. Alright, food district. Let's get this started. 1, 2, 3. Done and done. Now, we could do emergency shifts on these other ones, too. Alright, so now we've got a little red symbol over here. Deactivated, no resource deposit. So our prefab district is now empty, and we might as well just deconstruct it at this point. We do get a partial refund, plus 38 of the scrap and 53 prefabs. We'll go ahead and do that. But the reason why we dug so soon and cleared all this land is because there's a prefab over here. So we're just going to pick up where we left off and do an extraction district over there and keep the prefabs rolling in. All right, the food district here is up and running. It says here 43 weeks at current rate, and it says time left 45 weeks. So we actually have enough food income in order to make quota, but I don't know if the food supplies here will last that long. This says 67 weeks. This says 36 weeks. We have to be mindful of this. This means that our food income is going to drop before we've reached the 43 weeks. So we need to get another food district up and running in order for that to be okay. Now, another thing I'm a little worried about, plus 10 materials. If I build another food district, I may not have materials to keep things up and running, but let's see what we got down here. Prefab should be rolling in. Let's do an extraction district to prepare for the material shortage. 1, 2, 3, beautiful. We still have 123 prefabs. And we still have 320 workforce. If we have to, we'll reduce workforce from another location. Ooh, colder season, heat demand is increased. Okay, so that's going to be a slight problem. We need to get more oil income. Luckily, there's oil down there. Okay, so we should probably build an extraction district here as well. 1, 2, 3. And you can see in the upper right-hand corner the little timer. So you can kind of see what's coming up. There's a whiteout coming, but we know about that. We're still on track, just not as... see this 43 weeks versus 41 weeks, I'm not too happy with that. Place a food district on the seal colony. Now we'll note that we no longer have the prefabs to build anything right now. We could build another extraction, but we need food more than anything. If we have to just, wait a little bit, we'll do that. We can also disassemble something else or just stop it all together, and that should help too. But yeah, I think we'll be okay. All right, so now our materials is at 120 surplus. That's a bit much. I don't think we need that much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce it because we're not storing any of these materials. We don't have any material storage. So there's no reason to have an insane amount of income. So we're just going to have a plus 16 income here. And that will in turn reduce our heat demand and our base materials demand for doing that. So it's just, yeah. Since we're not storing it, there's no need to have that on full. There's no need. Our heat is at negative 41. We could do emergency shifts on these to counteract the cold. It depends on how much that negative 41 is going to affect us right now. Slightly increased by heat scarcity. We could, again, do emergency shifts to sort of help with that. I don't see any other oil deposits on the map. We can we work this thing like generator? Yeah, so we can do overdrive, but we're only going to do that in case of emergency. If you wait too long, things could happen. So we don't want to put that on overdrive for too long. Okay, food-wise, let's just see if we have enough now for that other food. We do. So we're going to go ahead and put another food district here. Actually, do we want to put it down here like it's telling us to? The seal colony. Yeah, might as well. The whiteout draws near, a sacrifice. People in the camp are getting tense. They worry we won't gather food in time. Our hunters propose to slaughter the remaining seals, including pups and females. This will allow us to gather much more food, but will wipe out what could have been the last colony of these creatures on Earth. However, many elders have volunteered to walk into the Frostland rather than be a burden on our resources. Their sacrifice would significantly reduce the rations we need for the whiteout. What should we do? I am not going to slaughter the seals, because no, I'm not doing that. And I'm not going to let our elders go out to die. So we're going to take the risk and just say if you fail, the consequences will be dire. So we are going to hopefully save everybody. It's a much harder choice because we're not getting extra food from anywhere, but we're gonna do our best. I mean, we do have 2 weeks lead on the objective, but that could change because this is gonna run out. This food supply is gonna run out soon, so we need to keep up with that. I want to do all the endings of the prologue, save everything, save only seal. Why? I mean, you can. It's just a lot of work. Just warning you. Let's get the last food district up and running. Okay, we can't. We need workforce. All right, so at the moment, let's just see. Can we... Okay, this says 8 weeks remaining on this. We're almost out of prefabs on this one, too. Wow, okay. But we have enough prefabs to build it. Preserving food for the whiteout. Build more warehouses. Yeah, we will do that. We are reaching our capacity. It's one thing I forgot to do was build that second hub. And we need workforce to do it. So I'm going to reduce the prefab income temporarily until we've got enough workforce. Let's see if 150 is enough. It is. We'll put that right next to this for that. And the reason I dug this out a second time was so that I can put this here. And this is minus 10% workforce requirement. So instead of 100, it'd be 90, I guess, because 10%. We'll go ahead and unpause, fast forward. We also want to get the another food district up and running if we can. But now we've got 40,000 here that we can potentially store, and will be filled in 10 weeks. Right now, we're doing very well. We're doing very well. I'm a little concerned about that. We could, if we want to address heat, we can emergency shift this oil. So we'll just go and do that. And maybe that. We're at negative 14. And where's the other oil? Is it down here? There. We are now in the positive, +8. So we did emergency shifts on the oil deposits to get our heat back under control. It's not ideal, but for purposes of the prologue, it's, you know, it's not bad. Disease went up, though, because of the emergency shifts. And do we have enough for the last? We do not. We need more workforce. So we need 200 workforce. Where are we getting that from? Maybe when this runs out, we'll move that over here. Because no other deposit is like nearing depletion. Food secured. Oh, we did it. We secured enough food to survive the incoming whiteout. Our workers will make some last-minute preparations before the storm arrives. We should try and keep our people warm for this time. We will survive. Now we wait. Food hub is full, as it should be. We're kind of overproducing, so let's just bring it. Actually, can we build another hub? I mean, why not? I could put that right here. Check. So now we're just waiting for the whiteout at this point. Six weeks. 5. Okay, this is now completely out, but that's okay. We can always just remove it. Not that we need to, but we're just going to demolish the district. And we still have enough food income, so that's not a big deal. And we still had one district that we could have built here. The whiteout is here. The preparations are over. Against all odds, the Wanderers' survival. When the whiteout hit the camp, the Wanderers were ready. Everyone was thankful we acted fast and gathered enough food in time. The miracle of the seal colony strengthened our hope that our journey will lead to a promised land. Our elders have added the story to our great tales, alongside warnings about a sinful city that will still pump smoke into the sky. So we saved everybody. We saved the seals. We saved... yeah. As it should have been. Chapter 1, Scraping the Barrel. So just again, as a reminder, I made it to chapter 3.5 or so, and that's where my current save file is. And we'll just take a look around real quick before I take a quick break. Alright, so we're going to pause it, and it says new deposits needed. And then our objectives: frost break to a shallow coal seam and construct an extraction district. Turn on the generator. So yeah, we need to do that. So let's go ahead and frost break. We need to get to some kind of, yeah, there's some coal seams there. There's some nice housing, shelter areas there. And then over here to the left, there's some materials. There's another stable crevice over here for housing. The first bit of housing should go in here. Okay. Yeah, so let's go ahead and dig right to this. And then we want to prepare this at some point as well. Okay. Extraction district. Definitely these. 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to give room for expansion. So I don't want to, like, crowd this housing district over here, even though they could probably go up here and expand in this direction. I want to give a little bit of space here, because squalor is a thing. Building districts next to other certain districts will create squalor and different things like that. So allowing some space is good. So probably building in this general direction is for the best. All right, we're going to allow that to go. All right, so we are now at negative 90. So let's go ahead and turn on our generator. Assuming I can click on it. There we go. Generator on. All right, so now we are gaining +3 coal, and it's going to be filled in 238 weeks, so we don't have to worry about our stockpile being filled up anytime soon. We will need some housing districts, however. So let's go ahead and build some here. And again, putting this in this blue region is a positive for us. It says +20 heat. So we want to make use of whatever the game gives us. We're going to go ahead and do something like that. Although, what if we built up this way and then build a second district here and got, I don't know. I want to leave that open. So I'm going to go ahead and just build up in that direction. Because there are adjacency bonuses for building next to another district. So if we build a second one up there, I think the math would work out better. We're also short on goods for the moment. That will come with the industry sector, but we'll get to that. People gather around the generator tower as it wakes with a thundering shudder and bestows heat on us yet again. This is the heart of the city, our last line of defense against the cold, our first hope for a future, any future. Stuart, there's a couple who says their first child, a daughter, was born at the exact moment the generator sprang to life again. They called her Lily May. They ask that you bless her. You gave us hope back. Thanks to you, our child may yet have a future ahead of her. People are hopeful there is a future for them after all. No, not if I'm playing. All right, so let's go ahead and address more shelter needs, because I don't think one is going to be enough. Let's go ahead and add 1, 2, 3 there. We'll go 1, 2, 3. There we go. So as long as we have 3 in the correct zone, that sheltered from wind, +20 heat modifier will be enacted. Even though these up here are not, there's enough down here. There's 3 of them. We'll go ahead and hit check mark. Start that as well. Each district, I think, is what, 20? Yeah, 20. So we need another housing district at some point. Let's fast forward time, let that happen. Alright, good work. We have secured a new coal deposit. It's part of the last vein in New London. There are still some deposits left, but they won't last for long. We need to improve our mining to use it efficiently, but the city's communities are voicing different ideas about how to do it. We need to decide whose ideas are worth pursuing. So again, just to look at our numbers, we are still short on housing. We should probably get another housing district up and running soon. The question is where? I could build it next to this one. So I could go 1, 2, 3. So look at that. So this one is plus 20 for being next to another district and plus 20 sheltered from wind. So that's, yeah, we'll go ahead and we want to lock that in, that's for sure. Okay. That'll solve that problem. We are losing food. We need to get that food under control. There are some food deposits here and up there. We'll start with just taking care of this like so. And materials, we want to take care of that as well. Are there any nearby? These are prefabs. We are not earning prefabs at all, so we really need to get that going. So extraction. Go that way with it. And we need materials as well. So 1, 2, 3... Maybe I should frost break that and then encompass all of that. Yeah, sorry, we'll just do this for now. If I put these next to each other, I get a bonus. But it's not enough. It's just not enough. Unless I do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could do something like that. That would need to be there, though. Yeah, I could always expand them later. You know, we'll just do this for right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll expand right there. Or we'll put that there for now. Then we'll expand it later. All right. We really have to be mindful of what we're spending here. But we want to get this under control. Our coal is at -10 right now. Can we put more coal? Okay, we might want to frost break to these. Okay. We're good on workforce. We're at 1,600. Research Institute is another thing we should probably get going, so we can start researching things. None of the housing districts are big enough to house it. Let's just wait for all of these to build. Okay. So now we have prefabs. We're still short on materials and food. Surprise. Okay, can we build that research now? No. So in order to unlock a building slot, we have to make it expand to the point where it can handle. So we're going to expand. There's no room there, I don't think. No. Let's come over here. Can we expand this one? We can. We can expand like 1, 2, 3. And expanding a district like that is cheaper than creating a whole new district. It still costs prefabs and heat stamps, but it's not as intensive. But now that we've done that, we now have an empty building slot, and that's where we can put this Research Institute. Now you'll note that there's a little black circle, and we can just highlight over it, click, and now we'll have that research building ready to go. Abe Byron, 55, drill sergeant. It's good to have you back, old chap. It was a terrible fright to have you switched off. You're more than just a heat source to us, you know. To us, you're a symbol of what should be unbending, unyielding fortitude. May we all stand so bold against the frost. The generator is revered and respected by the stalwarts. Okay. We still have a shortage. We've got the manpower for it, and we've got prefabs. Let's continue until we satisfy everything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Materials, extraction. Let's frost break this area here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to get to this at some point. Now, this infinite source of materials requires deep melting drill building, and it's something that we just don't have yet. We don't have the technology for that yet. So, unfortunately, it's not going to be a thing. All right, now we're getting low. We're running out of workforce. We'll have to wait for the frost breaking to be done before we can do anything else. Research Institute constructed. We can now research new ideas. A small crowd gathers outside of the new Research Institute, arguing about how to exploit the latest coal veins. The stalwarts and New Londoners want us to lean on a machine-powered mining, but the Frostlanders would have us pursue a more frugal solution. They would never display such discord under the captain's rule. You have to choose who to entrust with developing their idea. So, show me options, decide later. It's a good idea to start researching sooner rather than later, because some of these technologies are game changers. How do you decrease squalor? There are certain buildings that will be researched in the tech tree that will aid with something like that. Let's see if I can find one. It may not be readily available to look at here. Here we go, filtration towers. So here's an example. Moss filtration tower. Squalor is significantly decreased, but it costs heat to do it. So that is a way to reduce squalor. There are certain buildings that sort of clean up everything. But we're going to go to heating and coal mines and mining operation where residue coal dust is sucked up and compressed into briquettes to make maximum use of the resources. Disease is slightly increased. Or what's cool is that we can see like the different sub-ideas that the different factions have. So for example, no one else... The Frostlanders propose dust coal mine, but this one is the New Londoners. They want the blasting coal mine, and the stalwarts here, they have blasting coal mine as well. So certain factions have like the same idea, others have different ideas, but the outputs are slightly different. Like you can see the dust coal mine has a 400 workforce requirement, whereas the blasting coal mine only has a 300 workforce requirement. But squalor is increased a lot with the blasting coal mine, whereas in this one it is only slightly, or disease is slightly increased. But it's also less coal output as well, slightly. So it's like, it's hard to decide sometimes. Researching an idea costs 50 heat stamps, which is like your coinage. So what would I go for? I want to go with, I think, the dust coal mine, because that's a lot. 60 materials demand. Yeah, let's go with that one. Man, our heat is looking pretty bad right now. But that's because we've been putting up all these districts. But we are now researching this dust coal mine. It's going to take 10 weeks or so for that to happen. Do we want to build this now or later? Construct the newly researched building and the extraction. Okay, we're not there yet. Alright, food is now under control, but because we're building more districts, our heat requirements just keep going up and up and up. What we can do is lower that to like barely an income so that it's less heat demand. We'll go with that for right now. But we want to have a storage at some point. What's next? Maybe another coal district. Yeah, so if we did, say... what if we did... So we're still not going to get that adjacency bonus, even if I do it that way. We'll just go down here with it. Now, goods is something I do want to address. It's not like super important, but it's something I do want to address because if we take a look at our heat stamp income, we are earning 14 per week. That is coming from individual contributions minus unmet demand for goods. So because we have... Oh, deadly cold. Well, let's get that taken care of before more people die. I'm expanding way too fast in this current playthrough. That's probably a bad thing. Deaths due to cold. People will continue to freeze to death until cold is brought down. Trust falls. You know, less mouths to feed. I'm making a decision. It'll be fine.
Technicians are on their way.
Okay, there we go. So with the addition of this new district, we are now at negative 14, which is not bad. We can do emergency shifts. Trust is going to fall slightly, but at least we'll be in the positive again. Okay, and that's going to be until we get this idea up and running. Materials are at negative at 90. We do have a stockpile that will last for 68 weeks, but I don't like that. We'll just have to take it as we get it. We only have enough workforce to do another housing district. We don't need it yet. But ideally what we want to do now is increase our population so that we can increase our workforce size. There will be laws that we can enact in the future that will increase the amount of workforce that you get from your population. If we take a look at the tool tab, it says on the very bottom, or the tooltip, it says on the very bottom, overall 4,752. 60% of the population is in the workforce, but there will be laws that we can enact that will increase that percentage. I think in my current playthrough, I've got like 75, 80%. So it's because a lot of these people aren't doing anything. So you want to try and convert the the people that aren't contributing to become part of the workforce. And again, you can do that through laws and some other events. All right, so we've researched that. What else do we want to research? Housing insulation? Base heat demand of all housing districts is decreased. Yes. It's all the same idea. So let's make the New Londoners happy and research it and say that it was their idea. We want to take a look at like their little bars down here to see this is relations neutral, relations favorable, relations neutral. So we're trying to make these people happy if we can. And goods, if I build an industry district that provides us with goods, our material drain will go even further up. So I don't know if I can even address that right now. Oh, colder season. Heat demand has increased. Well, that's bad. So we should now build those coal extraction buildings, I think. We need 8 more workforce. All right, let's pull it from somewhere. Food. Can we drop that a little bit? Yeah, -3. We still have 1,293 weeks at that rate. Is that going to be enough to construct one of these coal mines? Yeah, it is. Okay. So we'll put that right there. And hopefully that's a huge drain. It's such a huge drain. We may have to do more emergency ships. And people are going to die left and right. All right, there we go. a place to settle differences. With the new mine, the impending doom of depleting coal is postponed. Yet differences between communities remain. The weakening captain wanted to establish a council to settle them. He didn't live to see it, though. It falls to you, Steward. The people of New London want a say in how it's run. The first decision, whether you should continue to lead the city. We need a council. So we gained heat from two different sources here. First, we researched that asbestos lining, the housing insulation, that reduced the amount of heat required to heat everything. And then we had just finished constructing the building in this district, which is this dust coal mine. It provides 150 coal, demand is 20 materials. So again, materials are going to be a problem for us in the future because right now we're not producing enough, and this will last for 48 weeks. So we need more workforce, ideally. Okay, but we should probably research something new. Heat dispatcher, 20 heat demand, 400 work. Our workforce right now is extremely limited, so I'm really hesitant to enact anything that has a lot of workforce requirement. Let's see if there's anything that's just a plain old buff. Base heat demand of food districts is significantly, yes, we want this. So we're going to research that idea. It's just a flat buff. There's no reason not to take this. Base heat demand of food districts is significantly decreased. We'll go ahead and research that idea for 100 of these heat stamps. We're getting a little low, though. But I think that's going to be worth it. We can then turn that into materials at some point by reducing coal intake and increasing workforce for materials. Okay. Build the council hall. Do we even have the workforce for it? We don't. We need 200 workforce, 80 heat stamps, and 40 prefabs. Oh, boy. Where am I going to get this crap from? Like, the game does not give me enough. I could slow down the prefab income. I could probably do that. Yeah, prefabs remaining. Let's go ahead and reduce that to, like... Yeah, we've got 592 workforce now. So let's go ahead and build the council hall. And that's something that you build right in the center. There's like a center district where the generator is. And we'll start work on that. And maybe another materials. Can we build another materials? No, we're down. We need 600 workforce. Yeah, we're just going to have to deal with it. Unless we construct buildings in these districts that give us more materials, but we don't have the research on that yet. $14 died and 21 got injured during emergency ships. That's fine. Less mouths to feed. Let's go ahead and click on that. First council session. The city decides. Based on your handling of the coal crisis, the first decision is whether you should maintain your role as steward. Hey, I'm a spreadsheet guy. What can I say? All right. Well, at the moment, I mean, 422, 4 against, 74 people are hesitant. But, you know, I could make some promises just to sort of lock that in. Negotiate. So most of the New Londoners are hesitant. Stalwarts are 4, and the Frostlanders are mostly hesitant. So I'll pick one of these factions and see what they want if I tell them to vote for me. I can enact a law, city development effort. Main district proposes a small amount of prefabs. That's good. Research building, automated. I think just enacting this law. I mean, main district produces a small amount of prefabs. I think that's good. So we want to do that anyway. We want to find laws and buildings that go with us, with our current need. And we also want to promise things that we do have the ability to construct. For example, this mechanical factory. 300 workforce requirement needed for this. Well, it says the research building, not construct it, so we could just technically research it. But we are getting short on heat stamps. So researching something is going to cost heat stamps that we may not have. So I'd rather just enact a law which is free, and it's just easy. Now it says 57 for 3 against, 40. That's perfectly fine. We'll go ahead and call a vote at that point. So the proposed law has been approved. I personally am not a fan of that. So I have a little soundboard, and we'll just enable this.
New law. A new law has passed.
There, I like that much better. Okay, that makes me happy. All right, we'll go ahead and hit IC. All right, we're going to pause here, and I think we're going to take a break. I've been streaming for about an hour and a half, and I have some phone calls and other things to make. I will pause this and just label it as a... Can I even pause? I'm hitting escape, but nothing's happening. There we go. Save. Create a new save. This is going to be the stream. So I'll just put stream 2024. And for those of you that missed some of the stream, I'll go ahead and export this to my YouTube channel so you can kind of see it all in one go. And again, as a reminder, I mean, I don't want to replay too much. Right now I'm in Chapter 3 and I don't want to have 2 different playthroughs going. But the best way to see more of this is to subscribe to my channel, support me on Patreon, you know, do all the things that get more people to flock to my stuff, my network. And the more support I get for a particular game, the more likely it is that I'll stream it in the future. So just be mindful of that. I will try and do another stream to follow up on this particular playthrough, but again, the more support I get, you know, the more likely it is that I'll do that. So there you go, folks. That was Frostpunk 2. If you haven't checked out my review of the game, please do. I've also got a top 10 tips, a Frostpunk top 10 tips or something like that video that I just published on my YouTube channel as well. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all next time. Take care.